It'll be Newcastle to kick off. The New Zealander Schuster, as we welcome all those viewers throughout TVNZ and the Sky Network over there. Sit back and enjoy this Nissan Friday night clash between the Knights and the Panthers.
Penrith won't muck around with this. They've got a strong wind at their tail, but they've erred immediately from the kickoff.
Well, you want to talk about muck around, it's Greg Alexander who took his eyes off it. Now the kick down deep, Alexander was looking for a support player. He well and truly took his eyes off the ball. Here's the Knights right on the attack. Kemp, 10 metres out, Newcastle.
Don't forget he had an eye injury recently. I wonder if he's over it.
Well, there can be no excuse for something that simple. 12 metres out.
Certainly can't let him think he could pass it before he took a good opportunity for Newcastle.
McLean. Lanane is calling for his forwards to keep on taking it the same way. That was the decoy as they go to the backs. Hagan. 3 defenders on Hagan. They know that he shows the ball. An expert at using the dummy. Johnson. Still it's 10 metres, 12 metres out from the Penrith line. Last tackle. Lanane. Lanane to bomb away. Plenty of Newcastle jumpers. And was it another knock on? It is. There was plenty of players getting pushed over, well and truly without the ball, and Elam has put it down. So this scrum to go down right in front of the post.
A lot of pressure for Elam, the hooker. There should have been other players there to take that football. Young rookie hooker taking the spot of Roy Simmons. Great opportunity for Newcastle.
Is this a fine start for them? Doyle, Hagan with an overlap is there. Hagan gets it out to Kemp. They get it. Oh, we've only had a minute and a half, and it's the Knights who have got to try. A stunned crowd here at Penrith Stadium, and Kemp is injured.
And a well-worked try it was here on the Nissan replay. Have a look at this from Newcastle. This was a result of pressure. Hagan on the loop around. Smith had nowhere to go. The ball back onto Kemp, and Kemp powered his way over in the corner.
The most dangerous place on the field to have a scrum is centre field. You've got both sides of the field to work in. Hagan elected to work the left-hand side of the field. He came on a simple run around. There wasn't enough cover defence coming across, and Kemp goes over for the try. It's the start of what could be a nightmare.
Now Schuster, right out on touch. Plenty of breeze to contend with. Meets it pretty well, but hooking around. But the Knights with a shot. 4-0 over Penrith. Cartwright. Big connection in the second row for the Panthers. The Kangaroos. Here's the other guy. Set. Oh, what a great ball back for Allen. He took 2 and 3 defenders and then got a miracle pass away. Now they earn a penalty. A chance for points. It was Lanane, who Harrigan wasn't happy with. Elam trying to get to his feet. And Lanane, just a tuck of the ankle. And right in front of the post. They get 2 points. And it is 4-2. The Knights over the Panthers. Izzard. Brad Izzard. Bus 1. A one-hander out to Mackay, which is called fair by Harrigan. Gordon's there. Gordon scoops it up. Plenty of chasing from the Panthers, but Gordon was on the spot to save the situation and send everybody back to their seats. Schuster flying in was Guy. He missed him.
Yeah, the touch judge hasn't missed the swinging arm though, and this will be called back, and a penalty will be awarded here. It's one of the most experienced touch judges in the game, and that is Martin Weeks. There's the tackle over the top, and I think he's got Fittler and another Penrith player for coming in over the top.
Hagan. Incredible improvement from Geyer it was, Pete. And I think he would put a lot of that down to Bobby Fulton's help over there on the tour.
Fulton rated him the most improved player on the Kangaroo Tour.
Hagan ends up on halfway. Good. Good. They left it way open for him right up the middle. Looking a little bit sloppy, the Panthers. Hagan. Back on the inside for Sargent. Sargent gets it back to Doyle. Doyle gets it out for Boyd. Now Gordon. Another chance for the Knights as Gordon heads back infield. The pass went astray. Kicked ahead by Hagan. Bounced up. Oh, that's miraculous.
Have a look at this on the Nissan replay for quick thinking by Michael Hagan. Now, Sargent almost died with the ball there, but got it back to Doyle. Doyle fired the ball back on the outside there to Boyd. Now, then on to Ash the Flash. You can see why they call him that. He showed a clean pair of heels, but it was here that the whole thing looked like it was going to break down. But Hagan had stayed alive. He towed the ball ahead, then regathered it and fired it back on there to Kemp for try number 2.
Well, the Knights here just kept the ball alive, and the Penrith defence, they went to sleep. I mean, they should have been up all over these Knights attackers, but they hung back. They were contemplating what might have happened, and by the time the ball went past them, the try was already scored. Back on the inside, the ball gets knocked down. Hagan, like a good trooper, backs up as he usually does, and he gets a ball away to Tony Kemp, who goes over in exactly the same spot as the last try.
Has he done his homework? It's a horror. But they've got the lead with 2 tries, the Knights. It is 8-2 over Penrith.
Well, I mean, the hits down here are quite strong. Even Penrith are making some big hits, but as Peter and yourself has pointed out, there are gaps on the edges of the ruck, and the hits aren't consistent enough.
Wayne, from up here, it just looks like Penrith are being out-muscled.
Well, as much as it looks that way, I think that they're matching it individually. I think Geyer and Cartwright are taking it up, but they need a few other guys to help them out along the way.
Penalty against Glanville here. And McCormick just trying to get a hand onto the ball there as Clark was playing it. 41 metres out. Struck that one. Well, great goal from Mackay.
Not bad for Reddish.
8-4 Newcastle over Penrith. Lenane. The Knights will start looking for some more missed tackles in this Penrith lineup. 7-4 it is against the Panthers. Hagan. Glanville. 39 metres out. Boyd. When you talk about this interchange system, the Knights have got a ton of forwards to call on. A mile of forwards. Now, this will be Schuster's best chance at goal. Can he make it any better? You bet he can. He sent that one right down the middle. And Newcastle, 10-4 over Penrith. Caught again. Hagan. McCormick. Glanville. Just the odd fib is told on the football field, Bill.
There can't be any excuse for this poor handling from Penrith. They're putting themselves under enormous pressure. They're not using their advantage of the wind, and almost every player, there's another penalty now, which is just inconsistent with the way Phil Gould coaches a football side.
You talk about the handling, the thing that's coming out of it, and here we can see the reason why, you know, hands in to play the ball, and we've seen enough of that through the Lotto Challenge and now into the Winfield Cup.
Gordon. From a similar spot to his first kick. And he puts it right down the middle just the same. And the Knights get away a little further, 12-4 over Penrith. Just short of their own 22. A little knock on against Lenane. He's got the Penrith bug. Somebody's passed it on to him. He took his eyes off it as well.
Yeah, a real mixed bag from Steve Lenane tonight. He's given one penalty away in front of the post and knocked on a couple of times in his own territory. Scrum to be fed by none other than Alexander.
Trying to get them started, they get a penalty inside the 5 metres from the scrum.
It's the Penrith forwards who are their problem at the moment. They've got to cart this ball up and start working as a unit. Alexander was shouting out instructions to his side. He knows the importance inside the last 10 before half-time. We've got to get a try on here, he's telling them. Paul Smith. Forwards to take over. Geyer through the dummy. There's 4 defenders on him. There could be some holes out wide if they can play it quickly. Fittler stepping. Fittler gets it back. Nearly turned that into something. Ellum. Now Boyd might end up in the bin. No. But it's another penalty. And they'll have to go for the 2. This was the same spot for his first kick tonight.
he replays the whole scenario. It's 12-6 now, Newcastle over Penrith. Good tackle from Sargent. Can they do it before the break, the Panthers? 10 metres out. It's been a tremendous first half for Newcastle so far. Trying to get back in there. Goyer gets it back around. He's still trying to surge over the line, but last-minute defence. Desperate stuff from Newcastle. Carter, offside. No doubt about it. They're still trying to slow this game down. Linane and Carter with a big disagreement.
This has got to finish in a sin bin. This has got to.
Well, if I was the referee, he would have been in the sin bin well before this.
Yes, it is. 10 minutes. So Linane pays the penalty. Is it going to be a supreme penalty?
Well, the tactics are very obvious. And it's obvious to the crowd that they know it.
Well, Linane was never directly in front of the man playing the ball. He then continued to hang on to Carter. But the penalty had already gone anyway. Make it 4 from 4 as they get a little closer. 12-8, Newcastle over Penrith. Carter, Barwick it is who gets it to Smith. Smith has had to return the ball on every occasion. Only a matter of 10 seconds now. Alexander's trying something, a little chip. McCormick's there, great tackle from his eye. At least they tried something. McCormick's called quickly by his teammates to get to his feet. Hagan might try a kick. Bad pass from him. And that's where it'll finish out wide with Jeff Doyle. But the Knights running into that breeze would have to be happy. They've travelled away here to Penrith Stadium, and at the break they lead 12-8 over Penrith. The changes from the Newcastle Knights, only the one from the Panthers. As Bill Harrigan gets us underway, the Panthers, can they do it in this second half? Well, they allowed that to bounce nilly very dangerously. So some bad play from both these sides from kickoffs tonight.
That was almost the same spot that Greg Alexander knocked on from the kickoff, which eventually led to the first try scored by Tony Kemp.
Yeah, Pete, I think it's a little bit dark over in that corner.
Well, let's remember they are temporary lights here for this match. The Penrith Club don't have completely suitable lights for a floodlight game. So the banks of lights provided are only temporary. Gordon. He had to hurry there to get that kick in. Barwick with a lot of time to wait for it. Barwick's wrapped up by McCormick.
If it is dark in that corner, Graeme, Alexander will have told Gould, and they'll be kicking deep on every occasion in the second half to that corner, if that's indeed the case, and it looks like it may be.
They've got one thing in their favour, Penrith. They can't play any worse than they did in the first half.
Ellum gets it for Goyer, who was travelling from nearly way back at fullback. He gets the penalty too. But it doesn't matter about arguing. That'll do you no good. Hughes rushes out there to replace Sargent in the interchange. As Alexander feeds it. Carter! Well, they've wasted it on the first tackle. They wasted it.
Yeah,
no, they haven't. They've got it back. Well, they nearly threw it away. Alexander quickly changes, and out for Paul Smith. Smith still going. Great cackle from Doyle. Super effort from Doyle to get out there. Alexander nearly picked them off. There's another with 10 minutes. Who is it? Tony Kemp. Kemp has got 10.
And Linane's still
there.
off.
So they're down to 11. Alexander with a tap. He's going to create some space first, though. Well, it's 11 against 13.
And football suicide at Penrith by the Newcastle Knights.
Hughes in the defence. Are they going to cost themselves 4 points or maybe 6? Walker. Incredibly difficult for anybody to hang on with 11 men. Carter. Carter gets it. Must be a try, surely. Well, the pass wasn't a good one. The pass to McCoy, he had to stop from Fittler.
Panic is preventing Penrith from scoring.
Alexander keeps his cool for Carter. minutes into the second half, they get their chance to celebrate here at Penrith Stadium. It's been a long time coming, and they've done it against 11 men.
It had to come eventually. 11 men can only hold out 13 for so long. Nissan replay will show it. It was just quick hands from one side of the field to the other. Finally, the long ball over the top to Paul Smith. He scored 3 tries last week, and that's his first tonight.
Admittedly, Newcastle only had 11 men, but if we have a look at the replay there, there's about 8 players around the play of the ball. They just didn't cover any field position at all. The Penrith defence, the Penrith attack, I should say, couldn't believe their luck. And if we have a look at here, Paul Smith scored 3 tries last weekend. He goes over for another one tonight.
Penrith needed a cool head, and it came from their captain, Greg Alexander. Brandy, very cool under pressure. A long pass, a 20-metre pass to Paul Smith, who was cut down. He could see the try line a few moments ago. He could smell it, but it was a great Jeff Doyle tackle that prevented the try. But Smith, who scored a hat-trick last week against Illawarra, grabs try number 4 for 1991 for the Panthers.
He'll be able to bring this round, but he started it out too much. They've finally been able to level it all up, though, here at Penrith Football Stadium. 12-all.
Lenane's back. Just come back on.
Well, Lenane is back, so it's still 1. Hagan. Back for Glanville. And Fittler picks it up. The tide might have turned. Gordon. Mark Gordon stretching right out. He was still trying to... Well, there was a knock on in there, but Harrigan's missed it.
No, he was on his blind side. We could see it in our commentary position. The cameras picked it up, but the referee was unsided.
Well, there's the even up. Harrigan, I thought, might have got a shout from his touch judge. Now, there was a swinging arm on that tackle, and I think a Penrith player has put an end to one of his teammates, or was it a clash of heads? 2 down. So for a moment, they're down to 12. Cartwright staggers to his feet. And I mean, he's in big trouble.
He looked like a drunken sailor. He's got a cut above the eye.
He's
John
collapsed.
Cartwright again, and remember in that Lotto Challenge final, Mark Geyer almost knocked him out with a right hook.
Well, Lenane, he's got a lot to make up for now. This kick looks like it might stay. Travelling in goal, it just goes dead. Well, Cartwright split right open. So he's immediately got to leave the field anyway, under the new rule, as Newcastle coach Alan McMahon there takes a sip of a drink to try and settle him down. Well, Geyer goes up to check on his teammate.
Cartwright's eye badly cut underneath and swelling up quick. I'll be very surprised if he comes back.
So Cartwright to be assisted from the field. And plenty happening. Walker. Well, the coolest heads out there in either side is going to have to be Alexander and Hagan, the 2 skippers and the 2 ball players. Gordon. Looking to be a little bit late on the scene, as I was going to say it was Bradley who was late on the scene. Plenty of arm waving from Phil Gould. Penalty against Newcastle. Shepherding.
Whilst in possession of the football and running behind a teammate there, preventing the defender from getting to him. I thought that there was no defender really headed in his path, and that was a premature blowing of the whistle.
Mackay. He's picked the wrong time. After 4 from 4 in the first half, he's missed with his only 2 in the second. It remains 12-all. Bowie. Mackay up the middle, gains an important 5 or 6 metres. Carter. Boyd. Now Carter got tripped by some of the defenders that were still hanging on to Boyd. Fittler. Not many opportunities for him.
He's had a very quiet game. It's time for him to explode. Try things on his own. Use his skills.
Well, a good skill from Geyer here, Bill. Cut out pass to Smith. Smith gets it over the top. Bounces beautifully for Barry Walker. He flicks it up. And it's dragged in by Ellum.
And Newcastle complaining that that was passed off the ground.
Looking a lot stronger, Penrith. Little chip to the end. Goal! Fittler! Well Talk about Fittler. Johnny on the spot. Nobody in Newcastle went back to the in goal. They're falling apart at the moment.
Nissan replay will show no fullback for Newcastle, but Brad Fittler is a freak. He can produce things that no other player can. Look at this. Left high, pull the ball down, crash, 4 points.
Newcastle really falling across part of the seams here. Greg Alexander has a look, sees there's no fullback at home, and he also sees that Fittler's out wide coming through on the burst, but where Ashley Gordon was in the cover defence, I don't know.
This is the real difference between the two teams. Here's one genius putting the ball up and another one coming through. This young teenager, certainly a spectacular player, into the try. There's the difference in the two teams. The two match winners combining when it was needed. 19 years of age. They call him Adolf, and he certainly came a long way on that kangaroo tour.
A lot of time left, 18 minutes. That's the comfort gap now with the converted try. It's 18-12 Penrith over Newcastle. It was Penrith who were digging their own grave in the first 40. It's now Newcastle. Cartwright, after all those stitches, is back there. Walker! Oh, there was no defence. Walker down to Gordon. He beat Gordon. What a try if he gets there. Is he held up? No, it's a try. He's going to check in goal. It's a try. No. Well, he took a mile of time. It was very dramatic. He checked in goal with his judge.
He was going to award it all right. There's the beauty of the touch judge. Let's look at it now.
Well, the touch judge would have been head on to that. Harrigan looked over to him straight away. What a run from Barry Walker. And the in-goal judge with an important one that keeps Newcastle in the match. As Cartwright tried to put Lanane back into the in-goal.
Well, the league have been criticised for the interchange, but the rule that they did bring in, under public demand, I might add, the in-goal touch judges, if it doesn't work again all year, if indeed that touch judge was correct in goal, that's a good decision.
Well worth it. The Knights get a penalty, but you can really feel the pressure now on Newcastle. Ball was stolen off McCormick by Walker, who made that great run. Gordon. We talked about Fittler trying to get into the match. He did it and scored a try. Gordon's got to get himself in there as well. He's a match winner. 8-5 the scrums to Newcastle. They had a run of 9 penalties go against them. A lot of them their own fault. They couldn't argue with a lot of them. Kent with the overlap. Schuster. Stepping inside Izzard, still going with support. Plenty of time left in this match. Last tackle, Glanville. They've got to spin it out wide. McCormick goes back up the middle. Not the place to go. Hagan gets it back quickly. Schuster. Lanane. Where's the kick? Midfield bomb. Doyle was onside, I thought. Touched by Smith. Bunker. That's a try! Oh, miracle try! It was touched. They were all onside. And now, the kick is going to be so important. Who's going to show up for this one?
Well,
the Knights are back.
You called it a miracle, Graeme, and it was. It was a high kick.
Nissan replay will show us that Lady Luck bobs up in the strangest places. Smith touched the ball there. It went on to Brunker. I don't know how he stayed away from the sideline, but Doyle had backed up in support to get Newcastle right back into this match.
Well, if Newcastle needed a spark, this is certainly what will ignite the team here. The Newcastle side was a little bit flat before that kick, but Smith was in two minds, didn't go for the attempt to take the kick at all. Doyle backing up inside. He's one of their key men, and he goes over to score the try that will, I'm sure, lift this Newcastle side.
Yeah, a lucky football try in a lot of ways, but you've got to keep chasing, and the game's never over. And Jeff Doyle, as I said before, 100% player. He stayed away from Smith. Now, did Brunker put his foot into touch? It certainly touched on the line, but he may have had the ball gone from his hands at that stage. And then Doyle, was he interfered with after he scored the try? A lot of iffy decisions in that try.
Plenty of pressure here. He eats it up. He eats up pressure, this bloke. Gordon gets it to 18 all with 6 to go.
They've got them trapped, Newcastle, and don't look like letting them out.
Can they put any pressure on the kick? Alexander had to scurry off the head of Johnson, but falling beautifully. Penalty! Oh, this is an important call. I wasn't sure about this call on Jeff Doyle. Doyle, Bill Harrigan is saying, was interfered with. Now they've been marked 10. I'm not really sure if he was interfered with, but Harrigan said he was. It comes off the head or the back of Johnston. Here's Doyle. Now, was he interfered with or wasn't he? He's missed it. Is that the last chance for Newcastle? Dying seconds. We make it time up. Mackay taken. Walker, both arms around the ball. There it is. No satisfaction really. But a terrific performance from Penrith to climb back after the first half, and then a tremendous effort from Newcastle to lock it all up. The crowd make their feelings known about this 18-all. Nissan Friday night match. Smith and Fiddler tries for the Panthers, 5 goals to Mackay, 2 for Kemp. Doyle for Newcastle, another try scorer, 3 goals from Good, 18-all.